Hello, welcome back to our Windows PowerShell Naked course. A quick recap to what we have covered so far. This is the course outline fundamentals. Module 1, getting started with Windows PowerShell. And then we still add Module 2, which is Introduction to Windows PowerShell. And this is Part 4 of this course for Module 2. Then we still got a couple of more left. After that, we should be able to deep dive into overview about the object and variables, pipelines and formatting, data structure and export import, PowerShell script and functions. And then we move on toward remoting, WMI, AD Exchange, SQL. So, quick recap to Module 2. These are the topics. Commandlets we covered, and we spoke about the help, and we spoke about update. We will continue with the rest, which is the tab expansion and aliases, history and profiles, then security and providers. Now, tab expansion, aliases and history, the history and the profile. Some useful features, then demonstration, F7 and how to work with the history, and what are the aliases and how and when to use profiles. So a number of features of Windows PowerShell are designed to help admin or administrator type list and get their work done more quickly from the command line. This part, you will see how to use tab expansion to help choose the commandlet names and parameters as well. Also a demonstration of aliases that can be utilized interactively or in script will illustrate how you can use easy to remember like abbreviation or shorthanded for command or commandlet names. You also see how to use the history of recent command to repeat operation that you have performed previously. Some useful features: get-c plus tab, that will give me get-child item. History for get-child item will be F7. Tab expansion is expendable, and there's more information around how you can utilize the tab expansion plus plus. Then we have aliases, and you can see profiles. Several of the features from this PowerShell, again, they help to make interactive administration and scripts writing easier. This includes tab expansion, which expands commandlet and parameters name. F7 or history help to reduce retyping. Now, what about the aliases? Provide a shortcut naming for commandlet. And then the last one will be profile, which will enable you to define aliases in advance. Hopefully that makes sense to you. A quick recap to repeat what we just mentioned: tab expansion to expand commandlet and parameter, history to reduce the typing, aliases to provide shortcut naming of the commandlet, and profile, which enable us to define the aliases. So let's have a look at them in more details. What are aliases? Aliases are short, easy to remember terms that can be used to refer to commandlet or command element. Examples: get-child item, directory listing, or get-content type, gc or cat. Aliases are simply a shortened name for a command and can be used as a direct replacement for the full command name. For example, typing directory or dir gives directory listing of the current directory. In reality, dir or dir is actually calling get hyphen child item commandlet. There are many default aliases in PowerShell. For example, dir and ls both are shortcut for get child item. Users can create their own aliases using the new aliases commandlet. User create aliases lasts the duration of the PowerShell instance, but will be lost when PowerShell is closed. Aliases can be added to a profile script to give the illusion that they are persistent across PowerShell sessions. Profiles are covered in more depth later on. Okay. So, what all are the commandlet to manage aliases? Create a new aliases for the commandlet. Get-help named. Gh. Get a list of all aliases targeting the commandlet get-child item. You might want to use get-aliases, get-help, the about underscore aliases topic. This point us the parameter sets like overloading in C# or Java. Get-command space noun aliases, new aliases, name, gh, value, get-help, and get-aliases, definition, space, get-child item. How to use a profile. Profiles are simply scripts that the PowerShell execute during a startup. The execution policy, policy, must be set accordingly. The variables $profile link to the profile and can be used like notepad $profile. Similar to that is the variable $ps home. Before I demonstrate that one, profile are very powerful feature of Windows PowerShell. A profile is simply a startup script that runs every time PowerShell starts. Each line in the script is run and applied to each instance of PowerShell every time PowerShell is run. The concept is very simple or similar to the auto executing .bat file. If you do recall that all those days, the profile can hold simple line that create new function and aliases, or hold very complex and powerful piece of code. $profile is a special variable which holds the location of different profiles. It does not hold the profile itself. It simply advises where the profile must be. $profile always exists, however, for security reasons by default, the actual profile does not exist and must be created manually. Typing $profile display where your personal profile should be. To create the profile, simply make a note of the directory structure and file name and create a text file with the name of the appreciated place. I will show you the sample script and how we can basically cover this part of it. Also later on, part of that training, we will play with different scripts and change the settings. The quickest and easiest way to create your profile is to run the following command line: new hyphen item space, specify the path, $profile space, type the file, and then /force. It's always, you can use get-help, and you can do about _profile f1 within ISE. That will help you to see what information you need around it. So here's the sample profile creation, which I'm supposed to show you. And if I open the script, here is the script, and you can see it's supposed to create a profile. And if I browse to if I run it with PowerShell, here it is. It generates for me and it says how long does it take to load the session. So back to where we were before. We move on to the how to use profile. Profile name and scope. $profile, current user, current host. Profile.current user, current host, same as the above. Profile.current user, all host is only the current user on all hosts, and profile.all users current host, all users current host, and profile.all users all host, all users all host. Profile name, $profile, ISE current user current host, and the last is the profile current user current host, same as the above. Basically, these are the 5 types of a profile. We have current user current host. This is basically profile reference by the profile $. This apply only to the user or current users and is run every time PowerShell is executed. Next, current user all host. This profile applies to the current user on all Windows PowerShell instance, regardless of the executable host that PowerShell is hosted within. 3. All user current host. This profile applies to all users and is run every time PowerShell.exe is run. Number 4. All user all host. This profile applies to all user on PowerShell instance regardless of the executable host that PowerShell is hosted within. And last, ISE current user current host. This is similar to the current user current host profile. It is run instead of the normal profile file. You can get more information around this, around get-help about profile. Right. That's all what I had for you for today, basically, for the session. A quick recap. We spoke about the tab expansion, aliases, and history and profile. We walked through for the tab expansion. We said there are some useful features, and like, F7 for history. And we spoke about what the tab expansion, what is the history, what is aliases, what profile. Then We defined aliases as the short, easy to remember term around, commands elements to get the child items. Then we moved on. We said if we run the get list of all aliases, which that will target the command with the child. And then we move toward the profiles. And we said profiles are simply scripts that PowerShell execute during a startup. Then we spoke about execution policy, which need to be set accordingly. Then we spoke about the variables around profiles, which link to the profile and can be used either notepad or $profile. Then I showed very basic, sample profile creation on my machine. Then we move to the last part, which was around how we use the profiles. Then we spoke about the 5 types of profiles: current user, current host, current user, all host, all user, current host, all user, all host, and ISE. Let me just quickly recap what they are for these 5 host types. We mentioned the first one is current users, current host, and this profile apply only to current users and run every time PowerShell.exe executed. Second, current users, all host. This profile applies to current user and all PowerShell instances, regardless of executable host. And then number 3, all users, current host. This apply to all users every time PowerShell run. And number 4, all users, all host. This profile applies to all users and PowerShell instance, regardless of executable host within the PowerShell. And the last part is ISE, current user, current host. This is similar to the current user, current profile. It is running or run instead of normal $profile file. Also, the last part is if you would like to learn more about the profiles, get-help about underscore profiles. And basically, that's all what I had for you for today. Hopefully you have learned something useful around tab expansion, aliases, profiles, and using the help tab to get the information you want. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you at the next part of Module 2. Thank you. Goodbye.